Right. In this lesson, I want to talk about how can I determine the percent increase or decrease right here. And to do that, I'm going to talk about like some things, some key terms such as like interest, principal, simple interest, percent increase, percent decrease, and depreciate. We'll work on some of these in class as well. So let's just kind of start here with this scenario. Credit cards are plastic cards that act as money. Generally, the credit card company will guarantee the purchase of an item based on the promise that the person making the purchase will pay the credit card company back with the possibility of a charge and other fees being added to the purchase. So that's called interest. Now, the way credit cards work, though, is if I buy something on my credit card and I pay it off in full, so say I spend $200 on my credit card, they're going to send me a bill, and they might say you only have to pay $20. Well, if I only pay $20, they're going to charge me interest. But if I pay the full $200 I spent, I don't have to pay any interest. So that's generally how they work. It's a system that has been used. It's been in use since the late 1800s, but has changed dramatically over the years. So why do you think credit card companies take the risk of paying for a purchase for customers up front? Why do you think people use credit cards instead of cash? So like credit cards are safer than cash. If they get stolen, you can kind of cancel them, and cash, if it gets stolen, it's just gone. But up front, like why would credit cards do it? Because they're hoping that when they send you a bill and say, hey, you don't have to pay us $20, well, they're hoping they'll only pay them $20. Because they don't make any money off you if you pay the money in full every month. So they're hoping that people will pay them, and they'll pay them back slowly. And generally they'll make enough in interest to make up for the people who don't ever pay them. And plus they usually come after you, and there's a lot of other serious consequences if you're not paying your credit card bills. So here's what simple interest is. When you save money in a bank account, in a bank savings account, the bank pays money each year, and it adds it to your account. The additional money is interest. So when they pay you money just for keeping it in the bank, and it's added to bank accounts because banks routinely use your money for other financial projects. So like say I put in money in the bank, and a lot of people do that, then the bank can then loan that money to someone else to like buy a car, and that person pays interest on their car loan, which the bank pays you some of that interest, and they keep the rest for themselves. They then pay interest for the money they borrow from you. So an original amount of money in your account is called the principal. So if I put $500 in the account, that's principal. Interest is calculated as percent of the principal. One type of interest is called simple interest, so you're getting money based on how much you have in the account, which is a fixed percent of the principal. Simple interest is paid over a specific period of time, either twice a year or once a year, for example. The formula for simple interest is this. This is what you need to understand. Interest is earned, the amount of interest you get in dollars is going to equal your principal times your rate times the time. So time that the money earns is usually going to be in years, and your rate is going to be some kind of a percent principal in dollars. Here's how you would calculate it. So you have Kim here, and she deposits $300 into her savings account. So that'd be her principal with a simple interest rate of 5%. So you're going to multiply that principal times 0.05 because you have to turn 5% into a decimal. So it'd be 5/100ths. And then it says she does it, and that's per year. You can calculate the formula to calculate the interest you'll have earned at the end of 3 years. So you're looking at 3 years at your rate, or that's your time. So times 3, and that's in years. So 300 times 0.05 times 3, and that equals 45. So your interest is going to be $45. Again, you have I equals P times R times T. And Kim will have earned $45 in interest after 3 years. Again, this is an example of how you can determine the percent increase. This is kind of where we're going to get started with determining the percent increase or decrease, looking at rates and interest and things like that. We'll solve some problems in class and explore this further there.